Hey everybody, I don't know if you're hearing this. I hope you are. I wanted to do an update live on the dog trainer. The animal cruelty charges have been updated. I'm going to play you a couple of news clips and we'll discuss. I'm going to share it first. Otherwise you're not going to see it. Okay, this is live, so and you can comment. I'm going through StreamYard, and by the way, my name is Maria Ryan. Good morning, everybody. I just got really excited about getting this update on this dog trainer. There's been a couple of articles, and I just wanted to give you guys the latest that I have found online. And I think you can comment. I don't know if I'm going to see anything. We'll see what happens. So just be patient. Give me some feedback if you can, somehow, some way. So here's the first video. There we go.
In June, I sat down with the lead detective on this case who told me the dogs that died in Nikki Camerlengo's care died long and painful deaths. These new documents in my hand seem to confirm that. These are the necropsies we got back in June that show 2-year-old Cavapoo Bo died of blunt force trauma, as did Golden Doodle Flurry, after being at Nikki Camerlengo's dog training facility, Positively Paradise, in March. She's now being charged with both dogs' deaths to the relief of their owners.
I'm just hopeful that justice will be served.
I just couldn't believe it, and I felt like I had such a lack of trust, or that in my own capability and knowing somebody's character.
Now these new documents we obtained Wednesday show the ASPCA's in-depth report on Bo, which show the full extent of the dog's injuries. We've blurred the photos because they're too graphic to show you, but the necropsy shows the dog's face and nose were bloodied, his body covered in bruises consistent with blunt force trauma, including on his chest, neck, groin, and eyes. The vet also found injuries in the brain consistent with a traumatic injury. The report also shows Bo's body was covered in maggots. Camerlengo hasn't answered any of my calls to address Bo's death, but when I asked her about Flurry's death back in March, she told me the dog died of a prior condition.
The dog that passed away this week was a dog that had oxygen issues. The owners never told.
Okay, seriously? Oxygen issues?
Me that.
These latest documents confirmed neither Bo nor Flurry had any prior illness or injury. I heard the stories of 7 families who say their dogs either died or were severely injured in Camerlengo's care, but again, she's only charged with Flurry and Bo's deaths. She currently faces 2 counts of animal cruelty. In Martin County, I'm Kate Hussey, WPTV News.
Okay, so that's the first clip. This woman is sick. She is sick. Let's see. Okay, here's the second one. Same reporter. Very excellent reporting.
Friday, we showed you the ASPCA's in-depth report on 2-year-old Cavapoo Bo. Deputies say he died in the care of Nikki Camerlengo in March. New documents we obtained show the dog had a bloodied face and nose and was covered in bruises, consistent with blunt force trauma, specifically on his chest, neck, groin, and eyes, along with a traumatic brain injury. I sent those documents to forensic veterinarian Dr. Martha Smith Blackmore, who's not affiliated with this case. I asked her to take a look.
When I saw the necropsy report for this dog, I was stunned by the number of and severity of injuries that were inflicted on him.
Dr. Smith Blackmore is a doctor of veterinary medicine with Forensic Veterinary Investigations, an organization that works to investigate cases of animal abuse and neglect.
I think very hard and I examine all the evidence before me to say, could this cluster, could this constellation of injuries, could this pattern of injuries somehow have occurred in an accidental way?
Could they have been accidental?
So I can't say with absolute 100% certainty. However, the only plausible explanation in my mind for this pattern of injuries in this dog is non-accidental injury. There's no way, without being overwhelmed by force, being restrained, or being incapacitated in some way, could all of these severe injuries have been inflicted on the dog.
There's a difference between training and abuse.
I also took the documents and called up Ken Granacki, a dog trainer, boarder, and groomer, who's not affiliated with the case either. He's operated the award-winning Ben Pet Resort for decades.
After 20 years, we've pretty much seen it all.
Granacki's had about 5,000 to 6,000 clients at his facility. He knows accidents can happen and dogs can get injured.
Lots of slip and falls, especially with older dogs.
That being said, seeing the blunt force trauma injuries that we showed you through the necropsies, is there any way that could have been an accidental injury?
Absolutely not. Like I said, with being a top show dog breeder for many years and running a top boarding kennel, there is no way you're going to have blunt force trauma injuries, especially to the head, on a dog that's not anything but abuse.
Detectives say Camerlengo still has not yet turned herself in nor been arrested on that second count of animal cruelty. She does now have a court date scheduled for July 29th. Reporting in Martin County, I'm Kate Hussey, WPTV News.
Okay, now I'm going to share another one. This is more update. Further update, I should say.
Who says this second count of animal cruelty is due largely because of body camera footage of Camerlengo. Dog trainer Nikki Camerlengo slapped with another count of animal cruelty. This golden doodle named Flurry, the reason why. How are you feeling?
I'm just hopeful that justice will be served.
Flurry was Turner Benoit's mother's pride and joy. Martin County deputies say she died after a week of training in Camerlengo's care in March. Weeks before this Cavapoo named Bo died after just hours at Camerlengo's Palm City training facility called Positively Paradise. Necropsy results in June showed both dogs died of blunt force trauma, and new documents we obtained Wednesday show Bo's injuries were all over his body.
Nikki, how do you explain blunt force trauma to two dogs?
That was exclusive video of us questioning Camerlengo when she bonded out of jail last month. Deputies arrested her for Bo's death hours before, but Flurry's injuries weren't as straightforward, and prosecutors didn't file charges in her death until lead detective Christine Polisi tells me she recently showed body camera footage of Camerlengo admitting on camera that she was the only one with Flurry when the dog died.
When this whole thing started, when she got arrested the first time, we were hopeful that it was for Flurry as well, but when we found out it wasn't, my mom was a little bit upset, and so hopefully this will bring some closure.
The new charges come after I heard the stories of 7 families alleging their dogs died or were severely injured in Camerlengo's care. In 2014, Tiffany and Mike Owen say their puppy Gibbs died after a week of training.
We were just in shock. We left her with a healthy dog.
In 2018, Alexis Kaslik says her dog Oakley came back with a collapsed trachea. In 2019, Shalimar Gregory says her 4-month-old Rottweiler Red died, her vet said, of a severed spine.
He didn't deserve to die that way.
In July of 2022, Alexander and Christopher Bruce say Otis came back from Camerlengo's with multiple lacerations.
It's really a horrific incident.
That November, Dan and Adele Santos say Mako died after.
Hang on, I want to get the name of the Rottweiler. So just bear with me for a second.
Shalimar Gregory says her 4-month-old Rottweiler Red died. Her vet.
4-month-old. 4 months old.
Said of a severed spine.
He didn't deserve to die that way.
In July of 2022, Alexander and Christopher Bruce say Otis came back from Camerlengo's with multiple lacerations.
It's really a horrific incident.
That November, Dan and Adele Santos say Mako died after 48 hours in Camerlengo's care.
I can't tell you how much I loved that dog.
The same year, Animal Control cited Camerlengo 8 times for keeping animals in crates without water. It was over a year later when Turner Benoit reported Flurry's death, then weeks later, Bo's.
What would you like to see happen next?
I think there needs to be more legislation and laws enacted that prevent this from happening and prevent this from continuing to happen, because the worst part about this whole story is that it's happened to so many people, a lot of people before us.
Through our investigation, we also found that Camerlengo lied about multiple national accreditations she advertised on her website, and found that in Florida, dog training is a largely unregulated industry, which we're talking to local legislators about. If convicted, Camerlengo could face up to 10 years in prison. Reporting in St. Lucie County, I'm Kate Hussey, WPTV News Channel 5.
Okay, that clip was loaded with a bunch of stuff. Okay, and she did turn herself in. That was the latest one. She did turn herself in. to the police department, and we've got that right here. I want to show you this too. Just bear with me, you guys. This is important for you to really understand what the heck happened here. Let's go with this one.
Also developing tonight, dog trainer Nikki Camerlengo has turned herself into the St. Lucie County Jail on a second count of animal cruelty. This is according to Martin and St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputies. Last week, WPTV confirmed that second charge in the death of a golden doodle, who investigators say died at Camerlengo's Positively Paradise facility earlier this year. Court documents show Camerlengo is expected in court July 29th. So if convicted, she could face up to 10 years in prison.
Thank God. That would be amazing. She should totally spend as much time in prison as possible. Okay, so several things I wanted to go over with you guys. One, when you're looking at a trainer's website, you know, websites can look all flashy and, you know, everything is wonderful, but you can't just go based on what a website looks like. That's advertising and marketing. So know that up front. If there are memberships that are listed, you know, maybe there's, I can't remember what memberships she had listed, but a membership could be a Association of Pet Dog Trainers, APDT, or IAA BC. And it can also be for American Humane Society, different types of things. It can also be the Better Business Bureau. That doesn't mean crap, okay? A lot of memberships you pay and you get a membership, and you can say, I'm a card-carrying member of this dog training organization. There are some dog training organizations that are very you know, strict in that you need to take some kind of a test to have that membership. There's only a couple, as far as I know. It's I think Fear Free is the only site that does that. The other thing that I want you guys to be aware of is, so, okay, wait, let me go back to that. So you've got these memberships listed on somebody's website, okay? They're listed, they're going to be listed on my site. I'm working on my site. But you need to go to that site and first of all, see what their philosophies are in training. You want to go with an evidence-based trainer, not just somebody who says, oh, I do positive reinforcement, or I do this, or I do that. What literally are they doing? What courses have they taken? What is their philosophy? You need to sit in on some training classes also. I highly recommend that. I've had clients do that multiple times. I think it's awesome. And then that person can decide, do they want to go to that class or not? Do they want to hire that trainer or not? And they can see what methodologies that person is using with puppies, with adult dogs, with problem dogs, with barking dogs in classes, because that happens a lot in a group class. If you're a dog trainer, or if you've been to one of my classes, you know that that happens, okay? There's you know, a dog that may be a little bit more disruptive and barky and whatever. How is that trainer going to deal with it? Is that trainer going to punish that dog? Is that trainer going to excommunicate the owner and the dog? Or is that trainer going to maybe deal with that dog and use positive methods that are evidence-based, where, you know, you're redirecting the dog, you're getting the owner to really engage with the dog in a positive way, maybe getting them to do some simple behaviors like sit, stay, or watch me, or walking, whatever it is, to distract the dog and get them focused on the owner again. So there's that. Now, this chick killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs. Bo was a puppy and Red was a 4-month-old puppy. I don't remember how old they said Bo was. And it's disgusting that she was able to get away with this for so many years. Animal control cited her 8 times for water violations. I mean, we live in Florida, What are you doing with a water violation? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with animal control? And if you heard, one of the owners of the dog was like, they felt bad. Like, they felt like almost like it was their fault. And it's not their fault. They're like, oh, I'm hiring a professional. They know what they're doing. But that's not true, because as Floria's owner expressed, there is not any oversight. There aren't any regulations. Yes, if you run a business, you need a license to run a business at your town. If you have a building, maybe you have to, you're going to have to comply with like fire codes and have your, fire extinguishers, all that stuff, insurance. If a lot of trainers don't have insurance, even, they're not bonded, nothing like that. If you have a facility, you're required to have insurance. So you've got to look at all these things. That's just basic stuff to run a business. Like, every business needs that stuff, right? But I want you to look at, do they have insurance for the animals? I had insurance. I had a separate policy in case any injuries happened at the daycare. Because it happened, they're playing, they get a little scratch or whatever. Okay. You have insurance to cover that. Also, you want to look at, again, the certifications that they have. It's really important that the people that you're entrusting your dogs to, your cats to, any of your pets, that they are qualified to take care of your animal, to train your animal. The other thing, as far as oversight is concerned, the reporter mentioned that Florida doesn't have anything and that they're talking to the legislator. I reported last week, New Jersey is the only place that has any type of well, they don't even have it yet. They're working on developing a law with the APDT, with CCPDD, and having a board with dog trainers, with a veterinary behaviorist, with a dog owner, with somebody who is in the legislature, with the state. That's amazing. That needs to happen everywhere. They're the first state that is even considering implementing this. I think we should definitely implement this down here. I think it's super important. And I want you guys to be really careful when you're hiring a dog trainer, when you're hiring a veterinarian, when you're hiring veterinarians, they're veterinarians, so they're licensed and all that to be a veterinarian. But boarding facilities, daycare facilities, training facilities, if you choose to do a board and train, which I'm not crazy about board and trains at all. I think as an owner, you should be completely involved in your dog's learning experience. I want to know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't want there to be behind the scenes. I need to know what you're doing with my dog. Okay. If I wasn't a dog trainer. Okay. And as a dog trainer, I didn't do board and trains. If you were already a client and I was pet sitting your animal because you went out of town, I would work on things that we've already covered, that type of thing. That, yes. But a strange animal, no. I don't feel comfortable with that. I know your dog's going to listen to me. I'm the dog trainer. You're not. Your dog's not listening to you. You need to teach your dog to listen to you through evidence-based methods, and that are force-free, that are not going to harm your animal. So let's come together as a community, at least in this state of Florida and across the United States and the world, to have regulations for dog trainers. We need these. This person shouldn't ever have been anywhere near an animal. I hope she doesn't have children. And I just, I hope she spends a really long time in prison. I don't know if there's any way that, probably not, because of, you know, time limits and all that kind of stuff, as far as what do you call it, like statute of limitation type of thing. But you know, it would be great if there can be more charges brought against her. And I really I'm so curious to see what the hell animal control was doing for all this time, because this dates back to 2014. All right, you guys, I'm ending the live. No comments came in. Either nobody's listening to me, or this isn't working, or you're commenting and nothing is coming through, and everything is on Facebook. We'll see. I have no idea. All right, guys, I hope you have an excellent day and be kind to everybody. I love you. Have a doggone positive day. Bye.